Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the performance of physical transforming Vegeta, and we're going to take a look at how good he is, obviously before he potentially EZAs on Global MJP as a part of the Saiyan Day celebration. So I thought it'd be a good time to kind of get a look at him. Obviously, I think he looks really solid. I think in general he's pretty sweet, and I really want to kind of get a good idea of how good he is overall. So Vegeta is Limitless Combat Power Super Saiyan Vegeta. Starts at Super Saiyan, he leads pure Saiyans of 150%, and he's very simple. Attack and defense of 80%, and additional attack of 6% per key sphere, and he will transform when conditions are met, and those conditions are simple. He just transforms every turn. He will raise defense permanently on his super attack and cause immense damage to the enemy. He has Super Saiyan, Royal Lineage, Prodigies, Saiyan Pride, Golden Warrior, Prepared for Battle, and Fierce Battle as his links. And he's on a ton of categories, being on Bond of Master and Disciple, Bond of Parent and Child, Full Power, Gifted Warriors, Heavenly Event, Mastered Evolution, Power Beyond Super Saiyan, Pure Saiyans, Rapid Growth, Realm of the Gods, Siblings Bond, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyans, Transformation Boost, Vegeta's Family, and Worthy Rivals. As he transforms, he will ramp up his power, going from 80 to 90 to 100 to 110 to 120 at max level. He will also raise his attack at 10%, with it increasing every single transformation. When he reaches blue form, he will create an entire field of physical key spheres, which is pretty cool, and he will use those to increase his attack. Something that's very important is he loses the stacking of defense at his final super attack level. In terms of how you want to build him, personally I build him with additional in mind and some crit, but I think that's going to need to change depending on how they alter him as a unit with his EZA. Something important to take note is that between his first stage and his final stage, his links will change quite significantly, going from being Super Saiyan, Royal Lineage, Prodigy, Saiyan Pride, Golden Warrior. The Saiyan Pride and Golden Warrior links will change and instead will be replaced by Warrior Gods and Godly Power. But the other 5 links will remain consistent pretty much the whole way throughout, except for the Super Saiyan God form. You will have Super Saiyan, Royal Lineage, Prodigies, Prepared for Battle, and Fierce Battle for pretty much the entire duration of his time in gameplay. So that kind of covers the details about him, but let's talk a little bit about, well, firstly, how does he look? And secondly, what potentially could he EZA into? Now, something that's super interesting is if you look at a comparative unit. So if you look at, for example, the AGL transforming Goku, and we take a look at him when he first came out, things are kind of similar between the two of them. And I say kind of similar, but there are some distinct similarities. I think at the time these were kind of the in-factor units. He's got 100k defense, by the way, starting under a 180% lead with a 40% support. So okay, but not great. He is Rainbow. He doesn't have max link levels, but he does have pretty high link levels, although he doesn't gain too much from linking, but that is noticeable. 100k, not super high. In terms of attack stat, pretty decent, 2.8 million. But yeah, nothing too wild. I wouldn't say he looks anything remotely like a top tier TUR in 2023. But he looks okay. Still has some purpose in some of the other content in the game. Fighting Legend Goku, you can still do Fighting Legend Goku GT, can tank normals there. So yeah, there is still some viability to him. But if you look at Goku, Goku had the damage reduction capability, and this was very important because when he EZA'd, this mechanic became incredibly relevant, because with the stats increase, the passive increase, the additional attack and defense that he gained, and the ability for him to raise attack and defense the whole way through, he immediately became much better. and this level of damage reduction really helps him out. Like if you compare what Goku used to be to what Goku is now, he's a pretty solid unit. So Vegeta, in retrospect, doesn't have anything like this. Vegeta has just a base passive with pretty decent stats and an attack per key sphere. This means that either he will translate very poorly with his EZA, or he could potentially become incredibly interesting with his EZA. And what I mean by that is a couple of things could happen. Firstly, I think obviously beyond the kind of basics to announce, although let's look at him, 141k, so you can see he's gone up. But I think beyond the absolute basics to kind of announce here, it's very likely that Vegeta will get the obvious stat increases. Well, I mean, he will, not very likely, he will get the stat increases. 3.4 million, pretty good. He will get the stat increases, he will get the base passive increases. I think they will definitely add defense per orb. I think that will be important. I think they will also add that he will change orb types after his initial orb changing. So I think they will give him that kind of additional route to increasing his defense based on orbs at his later levels and his current levels. But it's what else they could potentially add. They could add crit chance. This would make him instantly better due to the fact that you would then go full additional. They could add additionals into his kit. They could add guard. They could add a lot of things. I think we can rule out healing. I don't think Vegeta will gain healing. It's not really a mechanic that, you know, kind of functions with him. They could add damage reduction, but they already have that on the AGL Goku, and I feel like, although not obviously, you know, mirror units or anything, I do think it's just not something that I can see happening. To have two very similar units with almost identical kits, although they are Goku and Vegeta, would still be pretty weird and wouldn't necessarily be a good way to conducively use Vegeta. So I think what they will add is potentially guard, or they will add critical hits and kind of double down on his ability to really dish out some big damage. I do think they will add the additional defense on Super that they seem to really be running on a lot of units to give them that multiplicative to handle being in the second and third slot early on in events. So I think when he supers, he'll gain 40% attack and defense or something, at least in the beginning phases, and that will lower down while he moves on to the next. You can see this defense does stack at a decent rate, at least right now. With EZA stats and changed base, his defense will stack pretty fast. I think he'll look good on the raw defense side. It's what else they give him that will determine how long he lasts. I think simply with an EZA and, you know, the base stats increase and the passive increase, Vegeta will probably very naturally and very easily hit over 350k defense at a rainbow level. He can already, with a bit of luck and additional supers, hit the 200 to 250 mark relatively easy as well. So it's not an impossible realm of situation. You'll see here that we have Vegeta and we miss a super attack with him, and we end up having, you know, 190k defense. So by getting additional supers, you can very easily still have 250k or so, or even higher defense on Vegeta. It's not impossible. So I don't really want to, like, I think his raw defense, unless they do something horribly wrong, will be fine. I just can't see it being done in such a way so poorly that it doesn't end up being good. So I think, for me personally, that's highly unlikely. With that being said, of course, you have to always consider that they could do a bit of a balls up, but I think overall he'll look good. I have great faith in Vegeta. So yeah, for me, I think he's going to be pretty solid from that perspective. It's just what else they add. Will they add guard chance? This will be pretty good. Will they add crit chance? This will also obviously be pretty good. You know, what are they going to add to Vegeta to make him, like, good in the long term? you know, not so much to question his abilities or anything. What are they going to do to make him super duper viable, to really kind of lift him up and lift up his level and make him a unit that in a year or 2 years time will be viable, good, capable. It's going to be interesting. But I think overall Vegeta still looks like a lot of fun. I'm excited to see what his EZA will bring. If not anything, just the raw base stats should make him a pretty fun unit to run. You can see here 200k defense almost. He's going to hit over a 5 million attack stat. He has no support on the rotation either. So there's plenty to be excited about for Vegeta. I think he's just an exceptional unit. And honestly speaking, I think most players will be excited to see where he goes. Pure Saiyan lead skill, always something that's super duper valuable. And he's a super class lead, which gives him a lot of viability with his overall performance. And yeah, I think in general, Vegeta looks great. I like him a lot. And yeah, I think at the end of the day, you have to kind of accept just how good he can look. And how good, he could potentially be. Honestly, just like him a lot. And I think his EZA is going to be something very exciting. Now, if you don't have this Vegeta, don't panic. He's a unit that is regularly available on a lot of banners still. Although after their EZAs, units do tend to disappear a bit. But we'll see whether he's worth it depending on what they announce or if he even gets an EZA. There's no guarantee that he will. I do think it's about time. And with him being a Saiyan Day unit, I think it's viable. Just to mention his links. Obviously, his links change, but as I mentioned, there are some stable links throughout the entire process. Fierce Battle, Prepared for Battle, Royal Lineage, Super Saiyan, and Prodigies. There's no real defense to gain from any of these links. Prepared for Battle gives you 5% defense, and all of them are offensively based. And they're not huge link gains, most of them are just simply 5%. So at most, if you link leveled every single link, you'd gain 35% attack and 5% defense, which is fine. That's not bad. It's not to say that there's no value in link leveling him. It's just to say you won't see the same level of change that you would see in a unit that has things like big bad bosses or metamorphosis or margin or things like that. I think it's just much better this way to essentially have like no real focus on his links. Equipment wise, as I said, I like to do a split on him with mainly additional, but you can do whatever you want. This guy will link up pretty well with any Vegeta, whether that's a Super Saiyan Blue, SSBE, but he also links up pretty well with obviously Super Saiyan Trunkses and a lot of units along that line, which means he has some interesting connections. And he just links up pretty well with Super Saiyan units in general, since 3 of his phases are Super Saiyan, and then his final phase is Super Saiyan Blue, which kind of basically counts as a Super Saiyan except for godly power. So overall, yeah, I think this guy looks good. Plenty of great linking partners. You can see a ton of them on the screen right now. Honestly, I'm excited for this guy's EZA, and he has a great sticker effect, so that also counts in his favor. But let me know what you guys think. I would love to hear it, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Till then, bye.